everybody. Happy Wednesday. Thank you all so much for tuning into the PHNX Coyotes podcast. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and leave us a 5-star review. I'm Leah here with Petey, Craig, and Sean. I've made it back. Sunburned, but back from California.
Scalp, apparently.
Yeah, my scalp is like, you can't see it, but it is, if you touch it, it's very hot.
I'm so grateful and thankful that you're back. Your job's hard. It is.
Well, I appreciate you guys.
Petey got tongue-tied on a few ad reads.
I heard you
and
called me
offered
Leah Morgan.
Zero support.
Yeah, Craig
for
didn't bail me out of the tongue-tied ad reads.
Yeah.
Well,
true.
It was good timing for me to come back. Well, first of all, before we get into anything, Sunday, the Matt Dumba news drops. I'm standing in line at the Jurassic World ride at Universal Studios, and I look down at my phone and have a text from Craig. Matt Dumba is a Coyote. And I was like, the Craig vacation curse. It extends to all of us.
Travel,
Craig,
vacation.
Imagine if Petey ever takes a vacation. What could happen?
This is probably why he won't now. You're dissuading him from ever leaving his house.
I'm not going to leave.
Oh, boy. But anywho.
My son got sunburned the last vacation I took in 2013. It's true. And then you know what? We were on Alcatraz. We were on the Alcatraz. We were at Alcatraz
10 years ago.
Have you done the Alcatraz tour?
Yes.
No.
You should. It's really cool. You get to pay the extra and get the headset things. Anyway, so we're out on Alcatraz. And this is my son sometimes has bad luck. And a seagull flies by and shit on him. on Alcatraz. You know how much it ruins your day when a bird shits on you?
It's supposed to be good luck.
Wow, it wasn't good luck for him.
Who says it's good luck?
I don't know.
Somebody got come
Maybe
from.
that's something someone told me.
Have you ever had a
once.
bird shit on you?
I have.
So have I, actually. This is kind of weird.
So anyway,
Sean?
that's the last
Everyone's
vacation.
here for arena news, and we're talking
Decided
about
not
seagulls.
to leave the house.
Mine
I don't
wasn't
leave the
a
house
seagull.
anymore.
It was a pigeon.
Oh,
So-
boy. All right. Anywho, so the Dumba stuff, Petey and Craig talked about it the last 2 days. Actually talked to Matt Dumba himself yesterday. Really great stuff. So just the Coyotes offseason continues to provide us with so much to talk about.
Less than 6 weeks from Australia, and it just keeps coming. It just keeps coming.
And it comes at all times. With last night at 9:15 p.m., you get a news dump and a dump. Dump is, well, that's funny.
Can't use that word.
A tidbit. Let's just put it
Let's
as
call it a tidbit.
A little tidbit from Gambo on the Coyotes putting a letter of intent on 41 acres in Mesa for an arena site is what was reported by Gambo at 9:15 on a Tuesday. Couldn't I have just enjoyed the last few hours of my vacation? But no. But that's okay, because we're going to talk about it today, as it is the first bit of arena news update that we've gotten since the NHL draft, I would say. And the Arizona Coyotes put out this statement this morning in response. We can confirm that Coyotes owner, chairman, and governor Alex Morello has executed a letter of intent to purchase a parcel of land located in Mesa, Arizona, to be the potential site for a sports arena and entertainment district for the club. The Coyotes remain committed to building the first privately funded sports facility in Arizona history and ensuring the Valley as the club's permanent home. In addition to this property in Mesa, the club will continue to explore other potential sites in the East Valley. There's 2 more paragraphs that I'm not going to read because it's just thanking the fan base, thanking the league, etc. But Craig, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Yeah, I just want to caution people first off. This is a tidbit, right? This is basically formalizing something we already knew was going to happen. The Coyotes are going to consider multiple sites. This is not the first letter of intent that they will execute. There will be several of them. This letter of intent is not legally binding, which means they do not have to purchase this piece of land. This is just a step in that direction. There are much bigger hurdles like entitlements, like tax abatements that you have to get forth before you have an agreement in place for a piece of land. So slow your roll in thinking this is the location that they're going to build the arena on. We're a long way from that. Again, they're going to consider multiple sites. You'll probably see more of these LOIs coming out. What I look at this as is it's good marketing is what it is.
Yeah.
Because one of my more cynical media friends described this as surviving the first round of musical chairs. It's not a huge piece of news, or it's not definitive in any way, but what it is it's another nice positive piece of news for the Coyotes in a summer filled with it, right? You've seen what the hockey operations staff has done. They've worked wonders with this offseason. Now you're getting a little bit of arena news. We heard Gary Bettman say, and Javier Gutierrez say at the draft, something could be coming after the first of the year, maybe around the All-Star break. But we've been saying consistently, You're probably going to get little news drops before that in the fall. What that does is it reassures the fan base. It reassures stakeholders, including the core of your team, that there is progress being made, that there are positive steps. This is one of those. But again, we knew it was coming. We knew it was going to happen anyway. He told us they were considering 6 sites at the draft. They're going to execute more letters of intent. So slow your roll on believing this is where it's going to be.
But it is also a positive step. And it may not be the final location, but it is. The letter of intent shows the word intent's in there. There is an intent that this is a possible site. And so we're talking about narrowing down from 6. Well, I'm fine with having 3 LOIs. That's great. This is another tangible piece of evidence showing that this team is trying to stay here.
Yes.
And there may not be a legally binding commitment to buy this land, but that the fact that it exists and they have written that letter of intent tells me that they're continuing to pursue staying here in Arizona. So however trivial it may be, it still is a step in the correct direction, and it's not fueling the fire of a relocation or fueling the fire of this team not staying. This is just another step, small step in the process of the team staying in Arizona. And I think that is an outstanding sign. And don't pack up the U-Hauls yet, and pulling up the mullet, but take this as a positive sign that this is going in the correct direction for the Coyotes staying in Arizona.
And we keep saying that too, right? You get all those narratives from outside the market saying, they're in trouble. This is going to happen. It's all just talk. Oh, they should talk to Matt Ishbia. None of that stuff's happening. The league is not forcing a sale of this team from Alex Morello. They are confident that he has multiple options. This is just the first sort of tangible proof that they're actually going to act on something. Honestly, Petey, I think you feel the same way. We both think that they're going to move forward with a plan. I do think that they have viable options in the market. And as long as the league and the board of governors are on board and giving them more license, fine. I don't know what the timeline is. Again, we don't know what the site is yet. And the timeline will be site specific, but they've gotten some leeway from the league and the board of governors.
And the other thing to look at when you're talking about multiple sites, and I do agree with you, Craig, and they said so in their statement that they're still going to pursue other sites. I think what that does is there's something they didn't do in the Tempe, site is they put all their eggs in one basket. Now you're spreading your eggs about multiple baskets, and what does that do? It makes some competition.
Bingo.
And you can
important
you can
point.
negotiate. Whoa, well, you won't give me this here in Maricopa? Well, Apache Junction's going to give it to me. So why? By the way, I don't think they're moving
slow
to
your
Apache
own AJ. Okay, yeah.
Junction. But
we don't need to go further west.
but I to the point though, you can get better deals by negotiating and competing within those deals. So I do anticipate more sites, but I do think that it is a bargaining tool and a bargaining chip for the organization to use in their favor and advantage when looking at a site. I do think that this is a bigger step forward. I'm excited to see that something is moving. Now, I know they haven't come out with we're sitting at the microphone telling you we're putting shovels in the ground.
Right.
I get that. But we've been waiting for some sign at all from this organization. And this, to me, this announcement saying, hey, this exists. We've looked at the site. It's a viable thing. Now we're going to have to pursue it, negotiate, do all. We have a long way to go.
Entitlements, tax abatements, all those things are much bigger than a letter of intent.
But those things would have to happen regardless.
Yes.
Of wherever they go. So you've got to get to those things, you have to have the first step.
Yep.
And now the first step, at least on this particular site that we have not been able to report yet, but this first initial site, the first step now exists.
Yeah, and I think just to have something concrete, and I'm reading the chat right now, Garrett said we've all been, can you scroll up a little? We've all been pining to hear from Alex. I think this kind of serves as the reassurance we needed that he's had his head down trying to get a deal done. Michael said, I'd rather hear this than nothing. I think, you go back to a few months ago and how helpless we all felt, not knowing what was going on, then having some reassurance from Javier at the draft saying we'd, zoned in on 6 sites. And now this is kind of the first. It's one domino in a series of like a big domino row, but it's the first one, and it feels so positive because talk is talk. You can say we're looking at 6 sites. A letter of intent I don't want to use the word trivial, but as maybe not important or not significant as it is significant in what it stands for, I think is the biggest thing.
Yeah, it just shows they have that site. They like that site, right?
Yes. And the part of the statement that we just read that, like, to me, I want to highlight again is just that, like, remaining committed to building the first privately funded sports facility in Arizona history. They're still following that same plan they had with the Tempe site. Obviously, they're doing everything in their power to avoid a vote. But the idea still is to have it be a privately funded facility and still have it be all the things that the Tempe site was going to be with shops, restaurants, living, etc.
Unless it's on the res.
Unless it's on the res, which we'll have more on that in a little bit. But I just think it was just nice to hear from the team on this. And yeah, it's just a nice, refreshing, positive thing. And I just cannot believe the direction this offseason has taken from May 16th till
Marketing
now.
is a balance, huh? You can go overboard with information that you, not to throw Anthony LeBlanc under the bus, but you remember when they announced the thing with ASU and ASU didn't show up to the press conference. Well, that was embarrassing. You obviously went way too far with the details and the reveal. But if you give people small pieces like this, I do think this is good marketing. It makes sense. Again, just to reassure everybody that is a stakeholder, whether it's fans, whether it's the core players, whether it's your corporate sponsors, let them all know that you are doing work and you are zeroing in on potential sites.
And that's what we said. Honestly, we said that the day after the Tempe vote failed. And we just tell us something. Tell us something, that you're progressing, that you're working, that you're doing something. And I think that this really does that. I know the process takes an incredibly long time. Look how long it took in Tempe and everybody was on board.
Yeah.
And everybody was trying to work together, and look how hard it was. I know they're not putting shovels in the ground right now. I understand that. But when we look at different pieces of land, hopefully they don't have a dump on them that needs to be remediated.
Well,
Let's hope.
This one is empty. This piece of land is empty. And I know I'm seeing a lot of maps, a lot of speculation about where it is.
The Discord is basically a map test.
You don't know.
Right.
Just say that it's in Northwest Mesa, and that's enough. That's enough.
And that
Just
is
say
enough.
that, because
Exactly.
as we have outlined a bunch of times, there's a certain corridor that they want to be within, that 101 corridor, or
and they want to be off a major freeway.
Yes.
And they want to be closer to the East Valley. All of the things that Northwest Mesa satisfies, I think. And again, it's just take solace in the fact that they're moving forward and they're doing something. And they put out a statement that we're doing something. If this statement didn't come out and we didn't hear about this, if nothing happens until September or October, well, shit, before you know it, they're going to Australia. Yeah. And now you go, now the focus is completely changed off and now it's going to get lost. And we don't want to wait till January. Let's get something going now. Let's get the discussion going now. Let's get something positive for a fan base that is sitting here talking about free agent signings, trades, Logan Cooley, that all of the things that have happened player-wise and on the ice-wise, let's get more positive news. So I think this, again, just continues. The dominoes are falling. It's step one, but step one's a good thing.
Yep.
Nobody 1300. Empty parcel. Time to go back to the maps. I'm telling you, open Discord right now. It's hilarious, all the maps. But let's just take a moment and talk about what it is we know and what it is we know it won't be. I guess just kind of
it won't be Tempe.
Well, yeah, but like let's just kind of, it's been a few months, it feels like, since we talked about Arena, so let's just, like, I guess recap what we know for certain, either in what something could be or will not be.
Yeah, and we've reported all this, we've talked about this, but it's not a bad idea to remind people of the information that's already out there. Obviously, they're not going back to Glendale. I was asked that a few times. It's not happening. Just shut that door completely. And
a lot of open dates there,
though,
Craig.
They are not going back to Glendale.
I thought they were going to be full.
So as we all reported a while ago, maybe a couple months ago now, right?
I can't even remember.
They're looking at sites in Scottsdale. They're looking at sites in Mesa. They're looking at sites in Phoenix. Again, these are East Valley sites. Part of Phoenix is in the East Valley. One thing I wonder about with Phoenix, the Diamondbacks and Suns are both in Phoenix. Will they be an obstacle in any way? Robert Sarver was when he was the owner. We don't have a good feel for how Matt Ishbia will approach this situation. If you're talking about not just building an arena, but you're talking about building an entire entertainment complex that is going to draw people away from that downtown core, will the Diamondbacks and Suns have an issue with it? I don't know yet. We don't have the answers to that. But that's one thing to think about with the Phoenix location, because as Leah said, a lot of the plan for this, wherever it is, unless it's on the res, the plan's going to look very similar to what it looked like in Tempe. They want to do all the same things that they were doing in Tempe. You may have to substitute on the res because you can't build residential. You can't build a sports book on site, at least. You may have to substitute like light industrial or some other way to make up the money that was a part of your revenue projections for all those other sites. But they want to transport that. And when you do that in Phoenix in particular, you're creating competition for other teams. So I'm curious how that'll play
But those
out.
are issues that you wouldn't have in Northwest Mesa. Like
Or
Mesa,
Scottsdale.
Yeah, or Scottsdale. You would not
Or
be
on the
competing
res.
but you've already said some of the hurdles that would take place on the reservation that they wouldn't have to deal with in Mesa or Scottsdale, especially when you're trying to build such a large, complex and build an entertainment district, again, similar to what you're talking about in Tempe. So it'll be interesting to see. And that's, again, this is part of the discussion because you say it's just the first step. Wait till that shit starts again. Wait till, does the airport get involved again? Did the Suns get involved? Did the city of Phoenix start competing? Where's Kubi? Like, well, what are we going to do there? We haven't even talked about Lauren Kubi and what's going to happen. I don't know. Is it going to have to be a vote? Is it not a vote? We don't know. There's so many things yet. But
they will not go forward with something that requires a vote. I can tell you that. And a lot of people are asking about that. Does it mean if they're buying a privately owned piece of land, does that mean there's no public vote? No, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
It depends what Mesa or another municipality is providing. If it's a county island, that referendum gets a lot harder because the signature threshold is so much higher. But if it's just in a municipality, you got to be very careful. My understanding is the Coyotes are going to make every effort to avoid a public vote because, you think it was hard in Tempe? Try Mesa. If you put this to a public vote, no way.
No chance.
No way.
Yeah. So that's going to be one of the hurdles they hope they can avoid moving forward. But again, you don't know what you're going to have to face unless you start the competition. And they've now done that.
Yeah. As they weigh each piece of land, I'm sure each will have its pros and cons in terms of hurdles.
Mm-hmm.
Some it might be easier to get done, but then there's tax issues and who knows.
Right. Like the res is really easy.
Yeah.
Like that stuff's ready made. Like you could go in and you could break ground tomorrow on the res, providing the Coyotes want to go in and pay for everything, which I think they would be willing to do. But you have to decide, okay, can we create the same sort of revenue stream on the res that we can elsewhere without residential, which was a big piece everywhere else. And I reported yesterday that talks have gone quiet with the res. I don't want people to misconstrue that as talks are dead with the res. The Coyotes already know what they're getting in the res. They understand that piece of the puzzle completely. So they moved on from that. They're still keeping that in their back pocket. Maybe they come back to it at some point, but they're going to explore these other sites.
More to get into with this.
Sorry, I'm hopping around.
No, it's okay. Well, and I want to talk more about Mesa specifically in a second. But before we do all that, I know that you guys talked about the hockey ops and all the moves made this summer and how all the moves that the hockey ops has made has influenced the outlook for the Coyotes on the ice this season. And one of those things was the BetMGM points total line moving. I know you mentioned that on Monday's show.
Keep an eye on it,
PD. But yeah, the line's going to continue to fluctuate. And I don't want this to get buried. Liam O'Brien will be joining the show at the end of our show here. Really great chatting with him. So stick around for that. But got to ask him about the new additions to this team and all of that. So again, it's just, I can't get over all the stuff that's happened this offseason, the hockey stuff especially, and make sure you get your futures bets in now because as you can see, things keep changing. It keeps affecting the line. So get them in today, or you can bet on things, immediately. MLB is going on, WNBA, etc. So sign up for the BetMGM app. Use the bonus code PHNX when you sign up. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our Arizona audience, place your first bet offer and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets. If it loses, you can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Shane talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-522-4700 Nevada. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in D.C., Kansas, Nevada, New York, or Ontario.
As you guys know, I just got back from California, and first of all, well, of course, we stopped at Circle K multiple times because, you need to stop for gas. You need to stop for snacks as well. And it's funny because we had the Gas Buddy app where you can find the cheapest gas prices in your vicinity. And I couldn't even tell you what town in California we were in, like one of those inland ones on the way back. And the cheapest gas was Circle K.
There it is.
And we drove like 5 minutes off the highway just to get there. Go inside. I got my Circle K water. I got my Circle K chips. Like I chose the Circle K chips over other chip brands because that's how much I love Circle K snacks. So not only did Circle K come through with the cheapest gas, and you know how gas is in California, came through with the snacks as always. And it's just so nice to have something that's so constant and so dependable, especially on a road trip. So make sure you're not missing out on all the stuff Circle K has to offer. Right now, you can text PHNX to 31310 to join their SMS subscriber club and get a buy one, get one free offer on 32-ounce Polar Pops. Okay, let's continue with some arena talk, and let's talk more about Mesa and the sites that will not be, Craig.
Well, again, Fiesta Mall. Stop talking about Fiesta Mall if you're still talking about Fiesta Mall. Not going to happen. And when you look at the location, again, we've talked about that corridor. There are other reasons Fiesta Mall isn't happening, but from a pure location standpoint, it doesn't make as much sense as some of these other areas that we're talking about that are right in there in that core that we've talked about for the corporate base, the population base, the season ticket base, and still accessible, right, to the entire valley. West Valleyers probably won't think so as much, but still, this is better than taking the 202 down to the 101 to the 60. Like that entire exchange is a nightmare and can add a lot of time to your commute. So that's out. I do know that a couple of the sites that they were looking at in Mesa initially proved problematic for various reasons. So they've explored multiple sites, and Mesa has this sort of hodgepodge of privately owned pieces of land that you could piece together. Some of them are adjacent. It's really hard to know exactly where they're looking. Just again, want to underscore that the location is going to be in Northwest Mesa, this one in particular anyway, that they're talking about right now, because again, that's in that corridor. It's in the wheelhouse for them. It's really not very far from where they were going to be at the TED. It's like 5 minutes down the freeway. So it still makes sense location wise.
Yeah, I mapped it. I remember like that area. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, I don't know what the area is, but I mapped like that, and it's 25 minutes from my house. I was very happy about that.
Is.
And
me too.
I know the Coyotes are specifically consulting me and my commute when making this decision.
I've heard that we are going to be involved in the meetings. So I heard that's where Gilbert came back on the radar again. We can't get Gilbert off the table.
Gilbert.
Deaf ears though every time I mention it.
Gilbert, no, can't get it.
Nope.
Oh boy. But I mean, it's so hard to, we don't want to speculate either, but I'm just curious and again, we're not speculating. We don't know. What's your gut telling you? Like, do you think Mesa's going to be it? What would your ideal situation be?
I don't have a gut at this point. I think it's dangerous to have a gut and express that at this point because
True.
There's just too much.
My gut
left to be
told me
done.
Tempe a year ago.
Yeah.
See how that worked out?
My gut told me Tempe on the morning of May 16th.
My gut told me Scottsdale the day they put the shovels in the ground at Los Arcos and they had a deal and the city council voted for it. I thought that would probably work out. It didn't. I think there are a lot of good things about the Northwest Mesa site. I think there is some positive news. I have no friggin' idea.
Yep.
Just build a building. Get it done.
Yep.
And get it done before your lease expires at ASU.
Yeah, and
like built by then, not done. Like done.
There was a lot of concern when the Tempe vote fell through that the timeline, and obviously the 1 year buffer of having to remediate the land in Tempe, I think, has given the Coyotes a little bit of breathing room there.
Yeah.
Is the plan, like, what year are they targeting?
I still think they're on the same timeline, but
26, 27?
we'll see, right? We'll see.
What'd you just say? Which one?
2026?
2026, 27, yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That makes sense to me.
Yes, that makes sense to me too.
And then they'd be able to stay in Mullet that long.
Yeah, which is obviously not an ideal situation, but you know,
it's sure not hurting them in the free agent market. Doesn't seem to be a problem there.
No.
So,
and it syncs again with when we sort of see them emerging from this rebuild fully. It syncs with the timeline if they can get something done. I haven't heard a definitive timeline from the league, but you got to believe that they have to have a plan, a concrete plan in place this season.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you go into next summer and there's still doubts, like then you know what? Everybody is welcome to pass their judgments because there needs to be something. But I think as you mentioned, the fact that the league's not being hard on them and with the timeline, and Gary Bettman mentioned January, we heard something last night on August 8th, even just a little sprinkle of news. I just think it's positive. It's all moving in a good direction.
Yeah. One note on the timeline too, like, and I mentioned this before on the reservation, literally there is a parcel there that it's ready to go. I've heard people say you can build it in 2 years there because you don't have to do any other things you might do with some of those other sites. So like if it ends up going back to the res, they could be in there in 25, 26. They can move in that soon.
Crazy.
So let's just wait and see how it plays out. I know people are dying for information, dying for finality, but it's not coming quickly. And if you understand the process of what's involved in these negotiations, and then all the things that we mentioned before, the zoning, the tax abatements, the entitlements, all that stuff takes a lot of time. There's a lot of processes at play in these sorts of projects.
All things that when we all got into sports, we did not think we would have to talk about. But here we are continuing to talk about it. Are there any other things you want to mention related to this in the arena?
I just want to underscore something Petey said earlier. The game plan's different now. It's not all about all our eggs are in the Tempe basket. It's playing these sites off one another to try and find the best deal. I've seen some people saying, just put the money down, get it going. It's not how it works. It's not how it works. First of all, you can't just say, okay, we're going to pick this site. Yeah, let's go. Let's build. All the processes we just talked about take a lot of time.
If it were that easy, it'd be done already.
Right.
Right.
But then also, when you're trying to strike the best deal, how do you get there? Like Petey said, competition. That's how you get there. So you play these sites off one another, say, this is what they're offering. What can you do to raise your offer to that level? That's what's happening right now, and expect it to happen for a while longer. There will be more letters of intent. Again, these are not legally binding. It does not mean that they are even going to purchase this land. It's like reserving it, like making a reservation at a restaurant. You might cancel that reservation later, but it's just making sure that you got your spot.
Can somebody jump in and buy that right now with that letter of intent out there? Do you know?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
So I Googled the definition of letter of intent just for our sakes.
Cool.
A letter of intent is a document outlining the understanding between two or more parties which they intend to formalize in a legally binding agreement.
Yeah.
It's a start. Great. Cool.
But again, not legally binding right now. Both parties have to agree for it to become legally binding. So it's just reserving this one, like putting a marker down, putting your stake down.
It's like going to the beach and putting your towel down in the spot you want, but then maybe they'll get up and move it somewhere else.
Right.
Or maybe they'll bring multiple towels and put them all down, and then when they, decide on the spot, they'll have it ready. So that's all it is. And obviously more stuff's going to come out, as Craig mentioned, and hopefully this gets stuff rolling. Hopefully we hear about more letters of intent soon. That would be great.
Yeah. And big news. Big news from the Coyotes this week too, right?
Oh my gosh. We need to talk about this for 1 second.
Can we talk about this for 1 second?
Yes.
Wait, what's happening back here? Can you do that again?
Saul is hiding behind.
Do you know what he's eating? Like that's the high sugar content.
We should just, do this. Where can you find Saul in this screenshot here?
Oh boy.
So my boss doesn't like when I shorten his name to Dick. Do you think it has anything to do with his name being Saul?
What?
It was a dad joke. My boss doesn't like it that I shortened his name to Dick. Do you think it has anything to do with that his name is Saul?
Boo!
I didn't get it.
Because it's Richard. You think Richard is Dick, and never mind.
Okay.
That's fresh coming from a Peter.
There it is.
Okay.
Got
Better than mine.
Look, the HR department's here, Petey.
That was the HR department, Craig.
Got him. Okay, well, before we move on.
But got him is a baseball thing, not the meme that everybody thinks it is. Look it up. I'm tired of that. We're arguing about the meme got him, which is EM. Got him is a San Francisco Giants pitcher. It's a different connotation, different conversation. Google it. Google it.
No. Saul
him.
is fighting with PD.
You need to get on mic if you're going to do this. Get on the headset.
Him,
Grab the headset.
Him, H-E-E-M. Got him.
I don't know how we got here, but
I
it's
don't know
okay.
how we got here either.
Petey,
What?
it did not start there. It started with this kid who had some wild ass teeth was like, got him, and that's what became the meme.
It did, and that's the meme. But the meme is got him from Brian Wilson, the pitcher of the Giants, because he said, well, I got him, but got him, when you say I got him, it didn't have enough of a oomph, so he started going, got him. And it's on the MLB network, and it's Brian Wilson. The kid, there'll be a debate. We might have to, this might be on the next, do they still have that show on that Southwest Bias? We still do that where you argue?
Yeah.
Go, well, maybe we argue on that.
Maybe we do. Maybe we do.
I just want to see the kid with crazy ass teeth now.
This show is going to go till 2:00.
Oh, all right.
And it's my fault. Okay. Sorry, Saul.
So before we move on and before we
Saul's gathering cardboard boxes right now for me.
Before we
Not
talk
the
to
first
Liam
time.
O'Brien, we're gonna bring up the Arizona Coyotes tweet, which came yesterday afternoon, and the Coyotes tweeted in all caps, "Big news," and then back to not all caps. This week, ... Pack. What do you think it's about?
It's arena, right?
Was not my chicken tendies.
It wasn't the chicken tenders.
No, it's not the arena news.
It's
single game tickets going on sale on Friday.
Yeah, that was it.
That's it.
So sorry to take the wind out of the sails of what that could have been about. I think once this news came out last night, people thought maybe that was it.
They're naming a captain?
People thought captain. People thought coaching extensions.
New Jersey? Are they coming out with a new sweater?
He's signing his contract.
A new sweater?
No.
No,
A Ruigi golf shirt drop.
Well, that already is happening all the time.
Oh.
No, just single game tickets going on sale.
Not very many because it's not very big.
That's funny.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay, $2 super chat from Mike. Are the blueprints already drawn for the arena? I would imagine they're going to use...
Yeah, again, they're using that same arena plan.
I would think, though, that, and I don't know much about much, but when you move locations, things potentially could change.
Tweaks that you have to make.
Yeah. But they've done a lot of the legwork.
Like, remember when Javier said they thought about building a dome, like, around... Remember
oh my God,
that?
that's right, the biodome. I was like, wait, I want that now. I want the biodome. Be like the Sphere in Vegas. You could just project stuff on the outside.
Oh my God, it'd be electric just in the middle of Mesa. That'd be so funny. All right, well, that's all the arena content we have today. Clearly, like, it wasn't a ton. I think just to summarize what we've talked about, it's one of many pieces of land that they're looking at. Putting a letter of intent on it is a really good first step, and we're going to see more of that on other pieces of land. And this is just overall, it's just really positive. I think that's just what we can take away from this. And if there's more, we'll let you all know. We promise you. Trust us. But we're going to chat with Liam O'Brien here in a couple of minutes. Really great talking to him. Before we get there, Shady Rays, listen. If you're driving around the valley, no matter where you're coming from, to wherever the Coyotes new arena will be, it's sunny. One of my least favorite parts about the drive out to Glendale at like 5 p.m. for a 7 o'clock game was driving directly west into the sun. No sunglasses could help with that. But Shady Rays, it's the next best thing. I wore my Shady Rays every minute of every day in California this past weekend. It's sunny there as well. So check out Shady Rays. Whatever your personal style is, Shady Rays has something for you. They have tons of different colors, and they stand by their products. If you don't love them, you can return or exchange for free within 30 days of purchasing. And if you're one of those people who likes to physically hold something in your hand before you buy it, you can stop by Kierland Commons to check out their brick and mortar location. So exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. You can go to shadyrays.com and use code PHNX for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. And this is one of the worst parts about leaving the state of Arizona is just not having Four Peaks accessible to me at all times.
It's in Nevada, but we probably didn't see much in California.
Yeah, didn't see it much. I really missed it. I could have used some. I could use some peach. That really sounds good. Went to the Angels game. Really was craving the peach, but didn't have it at my disposal. But that's okay because I'm back and I got to go to the store later. I'm gonna pick up a 6-pack of Wow for sure. It's the beer of the summer. It's the official beer. I'm going to just say this. Wow is the official beer of the PHNX Coyotes podcast.
It's true.
It really is.
It's true.
Like, you think, how much do you think we've consumed since this show started?
Many 12 packs.
I'm curious.
Not me. I don't.
Have we made it to keg? Have we consumed a keg between us?
Oh,
probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So make sure you grab your Four Peaks. It's still hot out there. So cool down with some Four Peaks beer. And you can check out at Four Peaks Brew or at Four Peaks Pub to keep up with the latest at Arizona's hometown brewery. You must be 21 or older to drink Four Peaks. And please drink responsibly. Well, we did chat with Liam O'Brien. earlier this morning. It was really great to chat with him. He's had a busy summer, and it's a really fun conversation.
Yeah, he had some tech issues, so we had to piece it together. But
yeah.
You'll wonder about the different backgrounds that you see, but we'll be stuck with us. So much appreciated, Liam, and this was a fun interview.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's send it over to Liam O'Brien. We are very excited to introduce Arizona Coyotes forward Liam O'Brien to the show. Liam, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Obi, can we get a profile of the beard one more time, please, just so people can see how tremendous it looks right now?
That's gotta be a lot of work. Like I have a really shitty beard, and it's hard. Like that thing is like it's almost like a sculpture. Like that's work, isn't it?
I just have a really good barber here, North Scottsdale, that I go to, and he takes care of it. So I don't have to do too much for it.
That's a bougie pro athlete answer. Oh, yeah, my barber. I got my barber. That's like Craig Morgan would say that. Craig, I've got my barber in North Scottsdale. Like I'm sitting there with a pair of scissors and a tweezers trying to clean my shit.
Yeah.
up.
Also, buddy, save the ad reads for us, okay?
Yeah, it's really good though. It's sharp. He looks good.
Oh man.
So I got to ask you, at this point, is everyone on the roster officially married after the past 2 years?
Oh, it's getting there. It's definitely getting there.
We got a lot of married guys. Let's get a workout.
Say that again. Sorry.
You got married yourself, obviously, in Prague. What are some of the high points of these weddings that you've attended, including your own?
Yeah, I mean, it's always just so much fun. In the summertime, getting to be around your family and your friends. I know for me, like having my family over in Prague, and I had a couple of the boys, able to attend it and stuff. It was just so much fun to be able to just share my wife's culture with my family. That was really, really cool. And then, going to your teammates' weddings this summer, it's always fun. Krauser's wedding was a blast, and they did such a great job. It was beautiful, and it was top notch. Probably the nicest wedding I've been to. So
I'm not hearing any stories here.
Yeah.
I mean, there was some karaoke, but that's about as far as I can go. We got some good performers on the team. That's all I'll say.
Who can sing?
Schmaltzy's a great performer.
What?
I would not have guessed that.
Schmaltzy, I'm not buying it for a second. Every interview with him, he hasn't smiled in 3 years.
He'll probably hate me for saying this, but that guy is a hell of a karaoke singer.
Wow.
Breaking news.
That's breaking news. Screw the arena. Nick Schmaltz can sing. But when serious question, Liam, about all these weddings and stuff, does it give this team, you mentioned some players teammates came to your wedding last summer and teammates went to these. Does it give you guys another chance to bond, maybe not inside the locker room or at the rink, where it binds and makes this team as close as we've heard about?
Yeah, well, I think you learn so much about your teammates, right? Like, going to Krauser's wedding, I got to meet a lot of his closest friends and family, and you learn a lot about them. And it's pretty cool that way, I would say.
Another event you attended this summer was Phil Kessel's Stanley Cup party. We're clearly digging for details on things here. So do you have any tidbits to share from that party?
Yeah, no, it was super cool. It was at Hotel X there in Toronto, and his wife Sandra, I think she was kind of in charge of a lot of it, and she did a really, really good job. It was beautiful. I mean, what they put together there was really, really cool. So, it was just a great night. A lot of the guys were able to be there for it, which was awesome as well. So, getting to see your teammates in the summertime and getting to kind of spend a night with them is a lot of fun too, right? When you haven't seen them in a few months, and everybody's at home, everybody's kind of training, doing their thing. So it's great when you get to kind of get back together, midsummer and have a fun night. So it was a really cool party, and Phil, that's his third one, so
Yeah,
he's had a couple of them. So he knew what he was doing.
What did he put in the cup? I'm assuming it wasn't hot dogs this time.
No, the cup was just hanging out. It was pretty I think it was very like family oriented. Phil has a daughter now,
Yep.
Capri, and it was, I think during the day, my wife was telling me, they had a lot of their friends with kids come over and do stuff with the cup. So it was a little bit more family oriented, which I thought was pretty cool.
Look at this G-rated segment we've got going with Liam O'Brien so far. I don't know about that. I didn't expect this from you, so just saying. Hey, let's talk a little bit about the roster additions. There's been a lot of activity this summer with this roster. What do you make of all the changes, all the guys coming in?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've brought in some really good guys, good players, good character players too, workers. So it's going to be fun. I think a lot of the guys we brought in fit the identity of our team and the identity that we want to have as a group in the league. So it's really cool to just kind of see things like coming together right now. Yeah, a few of the guys are in town now. I just met Zucker a few days ago, and some of the boys are kind of starting to come back into town now. So starting to kind of ramp things up, and it's fun. It's fun. I'm excited.
Take us into that process, though. You talk about you meeting Zucker the other day. There's a lot of new pieces. Like, there's a lot of new faces. Some guys know each other from playing on different teams, but how does that process start? Like, you meet Jason Zucker, and all of a sudden it's just he's part of the team, and that's it? And you guys are just all buds? Or do you talk on the phone before guys get here? How hard is it to get that many new pieces into a locker room?
Yeah, I mean, we have a group chat and stuff, so guys get kind of added in the group chat, and they usually introduce themselves, and that's just kind of how that works. And then, when you meet in person, it's just, it's somebody's joining the family, right? We're a family, and he's now a part of the family. He's one of the boys, and you just take them in and help them out in any way they need. And for Zucker, I mean, he's an older guy, right? So he's coming in, he's going to have a leadership role within this team, and we're just really excited to have him.
Awesome. Well, we have a diehard Discord, which is basically a place where a bunch of our most fervent, I don't know what the word would be, Coyotes fans. We chat every day. It's awesome. Everyone's super passionate about the team, and we told them that you were going to be on the show and asked them for some questions. So we have some questions from Coyotes fans that we're going to ask you next. So we'll just pull up the first one here, and this one comes from Mike, and this is a very important question from Mike. What products does he use in his beard? So we want to know, what products do you use in your beard?
Yeah, I use no products in my beard. I know that's probably going to upset Mike.
Wow.
I actually use nothing in my beard. I used to use like a beard palm type thing. And then it just I found it just got greasy, and it just, this is all natural right here. So
wow.
Natural.
That's
no, I'll wash it every now and again.
Wash it. God, I hope so. Saving snacks in there from pregame. God, but it looks phenomenal without any additional product.
That's
Is the hair still long? We can't tell. You got a ponytail going?
Oh, we might have lost Liam for a second.
We lost Liam.
Oh, there we go.
Look at that. You're in the facility now.
So you want to know what happened?
Did your phone
nowhere
overheat?
to lie, my phone got too hot. That's how hot it is here right now.
That
phone got too hot. I was sitting in my car for 5 minutes, and my phone is
overheated.
Couldn't handle it.
That happened to Nick.
Now I'm in front of the Kachina, so
that's fire. That's a good shot right there.
Good branding.
That is good branding. Where were we? We're on our second question.
Yeah, we're going to ask our second question from our Discord. So our next question comes from Joel, who ask him who resisted his charms when he's asked them to dance, aka who is immune to his chirping when he wants to punch them in the face.
Who is immune to his chirping when he wants to punch them in the face? Wow. I don't know if that...
basically who doesn't want to fight?
Yes, pretty much.
That's pretty much it.
I mean, it's I would say there's lots of guys that just, you can go after them, and I would say they're just not necessarily guys who are confident, being in that situation. And, I respect that. So there's guys around the league that, I'll just ask more or less for fun, and they'll just say no, you know. And I kind of, in my mind, I already know, like, this guy's probably not going to say yes. So there's those guys, but there's a lot of those guys. So it's like, it's hard to, you know. I don't think there's many of the guys that are in the league that I've fought. You know, they're all they choose their spots, and there's times where it's not good for them, and it's not a good timing for them, and I understand that, and I know that it's probably not because they're scared of me or anything like that. It's probably more just they don't want to lose that momentum that their team has.
Are any of those guys on Anaheim? No, just kidding. But what I do want to say to that, though, is you're a guy that you do take penalties and you do play on the edge and you do help police this roster. You help protect guys that need protect. It's part of what your game is. But you're also a teddy bear. Like, we sit here and talk to you. You're a happy guy and you get so angry. Is there just a switch that goes, hey, you can't do that to my teammates? Or no, we're not going to do that here. We're going to play a little different. Like, what happens inside your head when you get to that point?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I'm the oldest of four. So maybe it's that big brother in me. I've always been kind of protective of the people that I love. You know, so that could be it as well. And again, like, I'm very competitive, so I want to win. And if I know that I can change the momentum of a game and it's going to help us win a game, I'm going to go out and do that, whether that be with a big hit or a fight or, you know, just saying something, you know. I'll go out and do that. So, yeah, just maybe that competitive edge. I've always had that since I was a kid. Just always trying to look for that big hit. I've almost had to kind of reel myself in and play a little bit more calm, actually. Believe it or not.
All right. Last question from our Discord. This one comes from Robert, who is a runner. He's a big runner. So, of course, his question involves training. And he wants to know, when do you start training, how it's phased, what types of training you do for endurance, speed, etc. And then I guess the part two from this question is, have you ever played another sport in either high school or at any other level? So kind of two-tiered question about your training and playing another sport.
I'll start at the end. Yeah, growing up, I played baseball, basketball. I rode, boxed.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, I did a lot of different things. So, yeah, I did. It was important for my parents to just kind of have me doing all kinds of different sports and seeing, you know, what I enjoyed the most. And it was the same for my siblings. And then to answer the VO2 question, no, actually, I've never done that test in my entire career, which is actually kind of nuts considering a lot of teams test it and they test it at combines and everything like that. But fortunately for me, I've never had to do that test.
Wow.
Not sure how, but I just have gotten away with it. And when it comes to our training, yeah, you never really stop training. I took about 4 to 6 weeks off of, I guess, intense training. So I was still going to the gym a few times a week or even at home. And
maybe the phone number.
Oh, there he is.
We got you.
Oh, maybe we don't.
Maybe it's so hot that the phone's overheating even inside.
No, this might be a reception problem.
It's crazy.
Yeah, there you go. I heard you say crazy, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, we got you.
Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you never really stop training. So we've been going at it with the guys here in AZ. You know, even when I'm at home or when I was over in Europe visiting my wife's family, I was training through a program that they've put together for us. And right now we're in the 4th phase of that program.
Well, we're really excited for this season to get going. All the additions and the step you took last year for this team. I want to talk about one more thing before we let you go. I know when Troy Stetcher left the team at the trade deadline, you vaulted up to the top dressed, best drip on the Coyotes roster, and mostly in due part to your hat game. Your hat game was elite. Not a baseball. There it is. We've got a shot on the screen. That's elite hat game. Like if you're going to make an outfit, put a hat on it. Like that's phenomenal. So you stepped up. Unfortunately, or fortunately, on the hockey side, it's great. They signed Troy Stetcher in the summer. Unfortunately for you, you might have slipped on the drip rung on the ladder. So how competitive are you going to be, especially if you've got a trip to Australia coming up? Are you going to step up your game to try to compete with the Troy Stetcher?
I mean, you know what? Like, Troy's reached out to me for it because he knows I really like wearing suits. I've always loved wearing suits, and so he's tried to actually hook me up with the guy that he uses. So I might look into that.
Yeah,
and we'll see. You know,
I like it. Make it look competition. I like it.
But Troy's got a great suit game, and that takes years. That takes years of commitment because you got to get 2, 3, 4 fresh ones every year. And I bet you I don't know how many he's got, but he's got a lot because he was coming in every game and a new one. And I'm like, oh my God, this guy's he's on fire right now.
I want to back this one up. And this is the last thing I'm going to ask, and because it's very important, this drip question, because the walk up from the parking lot in the Coyotes, there's no snow, no snowbanks. So somebody's going to see you. And there are guys that Krause dresses very nice. Clayton Keller's got a real casual vibe. He can go casual or he can go dressing. He looks really sharp. Is there someone that could probably use, and I know when Phil Kessel was here, probably could have used a little help from you or from Stetch, but is there somebody on this roster that you're going, hey, buddy, make an effort? Like at least like Valimaki's sharp. Is there somebody that you could really take under your wing and help? Is there one guy that you go, gosh, maybe we put a little more effort into your drip game?
I don't know. Big Jack McBain just signed a new deal, so I think
he better step it up. Leave the JC Penny stuff at home.
He's got to step it up. There was a couple times this year. It's funny, when you get to the rink, guys will walk into the room, and sometimes if you're dressed kind of like not great, guys will just give it to you a little bit. And I'm only saying this because it was one time it happened with Jack. He came into the room and me and Hayes just looked at each other. We were just like, what's going on here, right? And yeah, so that's why I'm kind of throwing Jack under the bus here. But I think we got a couple guys on our team that can do a little bit better job. And now that Jack's got that new deal, there's no excuses.
Awesome. Well, Liam, thank you so much for your time. We know you got to get back in the gym or on the ice here soon. So we really appreciate your time and looking forward to catching up with you once the season gets going here.
All right. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks,
Liam.
Thanks,
appreciate it. Thank you again to Liam O'Brien for joining us. Second player in the last month whose phone has overheated on them and disconnected us. Yeah, well, welcome to Arizona. But really great talking to him, first of all. And we've said this many times. It just seems like this team, the locker room, is so incredibly close. Talking about all the camaraderie at the weddings, talking about giving each other shit in the locker room about fashion. That just really came through for me. And, just when you're around the team, you see how jovial everyone is. And Liam's a big part of that, I think. But that was just something that really stuck out to me about talking to him.
Yeah, I still miss Christian Fisher. But yeah, this is an unbelievable room for guys to talk to, story ideas, quotes, etc.
Yeah, I would like to hear the stories he couldn't tell us.
Yeah.
Imagine there are plenty.
Can we talk about the most breaking news? Like, this is actually the breaking news of the show. Yeah. The arena, Nick Schmaltz on the mic for karaoke?
Right?
Stunned.
Shocked.
What would you call walking and talking instead of if it involved singing?
I don't know. What would it be?
I don't know.
Singing.
Help us out here, Discord.
And singing.
Because
I've got to do it.
Who here thinks that Petey needs to get Nick Schmaltz on a walking and talking where he sings?
Buddy, you've seen his interviews.
Walking and Talking the musical.
There's I don't mind that.
Wait, say that again.
Hamilton?
Walking and Talking the musical.
But he's the guy that you wonder sometimes if there's a personality. You don't see it at all in interviews or on the ice.
I think he's really good one-on-one, actually. He really breaks stuff down really well when I get him one-on-one.
We got to get secret cameras.
Singing it and slinging it. Dan.
Don't hate it, Dan.
Nick Schmaltz singing, that'd be.
We've got to
unbelievable.
get.
You can make that happen, Petey.
Yeah, we can get that to happen somehow.
Fire.
Absolutely
Come
fire. Well, you know what else is fire is all of the bobbleheads we have here,
Especially in
on
the
our set.
other studio.
Yeah, the other studio is absolutely decked out
With
and that's-
Diamondback stuff.
Yeah,
I wonder we'll take that down when that season's ending soon.
Ooh.
If it's not already over.
Sean is
Too soon?
disgusted.
Too soon?
Anyway, check out Foco. Let's just
Things are on edge today at PHNX. You feeling it?
no.
Must be that Foco stuff.
Foco's leading manufacturer of sports and entertainment merchandise. Check them out. They have your back for Arizona sports, especially ASU and U of A. Great gift ideas, by the way, too, if you're for the sports fans in your life. So get the best gear around by visiting foco.com. That's FOCO.com. And use the code PHNX. And for all non-presale items, use the promo code PHNX for 10% off. All right. Last thing, I mentioned all the maps going in the Discord. The Discord is always active. And as you saw in the Liam O'Brien interview, we featured 3 questions from our Discord. So just again, a perk of being a diehard, access to our Discord, getting to get the opportunity to ask questions to our guests, getting exclusive guest answers, which we did last week with Newell Brown. We're going to continue to do things like that and just, reward our diehards for being part of the family and just continue to think of new ideas. So if you're wanting to become a diehard, do so today. Go to gophnx.com/diehard, join the family, join the Discord, 20% off merch, event, free shirt or hat when you sign up, and check out phnxlocker.com for all of our great gear. I'm wearing my black Cody shirt today. Petey's wearing his PHNX flag shirt. So become a diehard, join the family, and I promise it'll be worth it. Anything else you guys got today before we wrap it up?
I did push my Maddie Dumba story to tomorrow. Felt like I should do it so we could talk about this huge arena news.
Groundbreaking, except
Sarcasm font.
not really.
Yeah, go ahead.
Literally not groundbreaking because they're not breaking ground.
No.
Anything else?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, check out Petey is on a heater on PHNX Bets Daily. He'll be
I'm
on
doing that right now.
for his 3rd day in a row.
Yep.
So stick around on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Tune into Bets to catch Petey give out some baseball picks. We'll be back live tomorrow at 11 a.m. to redraft the 2019 NHL draft for another edition of Throwback Thursday. And then, of course, we'll be back on Friday for a Friday Fun Day. So that's live 11 a.m. 5 days a week on the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. More great guests coming next week. Lots of stuff to get into. This offseason continues to be one of many gifts. So we will keep taking it. But everybody, thank you so much for being here. Hit the like button. There's way more people watching than we have likes right now. So we really sincerely appreciate it when you hit the like button on this video. And if you're listening on audio, be sure to leave us a review and subscribe. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can follow us on Twitter at SPetersHockey, at Leah Merrill, at Craig S. Morgan, at Sean_DePaz, and follow the show on Twitter at PHNX_Coyotes. Thank you again to Liam O'Brien for his time. Thank you, I guess, for a tidbit of Coyotes news for us to talk about today, and we will carry on throughout the Coyotes offseason. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, everybody, and we will see you all tomorrow.